I've seen calendars bleed backwards, dates dissolve into dust, eras eaten by eager teeth, decades devoured in the dark, centuries snapped like spine, history hacked up like phlegm from a throat thick with dogma. I've watched a girl with ink on her fingers dragged from her desk, buried beneath bureaucracy, a book spitting flames from its binding, a blackboard split like bone, her future folded into a fist. I've seen schoolgirls snatched by silence, by sermons, by steel-booted speech, notebooks flung into furnaces, fluttering pages like panicked birds with wings of ash. I've watched blackboards blister, books beaten breathless, backpacks burning in the black breath of belief turned brutal. I've heard lullabies hiss through rooms with windows nailed shut. The slap of sandals sprinting through sanctuaries turned slaughterhouses. I've heard mothers murmur prayers through stitched lips and splintered teeth. Lullabies lined with lead. I've seen scissors in the sermon, steel in the scripture, a dress code written in lashes, a syllabus of silence. I've watched a woman vanish between legislation and lace. One breath she's in Parliament, the next a phantom. I've seen voices vacuumed from throats, tongues sliced by doctrine's dull blade, eyes extinguished behind lattice veils woven from lies, loss and lineage. I've seen girls bartered like grain, schooled only in suffering, their dreams boiled down to obedience and offspring. I've seen chalk crumble like bone on blackboards long emptied, veils stitched from shadow, from silence, from skin, desks like coffins, lessons like lies. I've watched a mother teach her daughter to disappear before the prayer call finishes falling from the minaret, watched ink dry in the wells of the mind, watched futures fossilised in burqas blacker than night. I've smelled the smoke of schools sealed shut with sanctions, tasted static in the air, a flavour of fear, of futures forbidden, and you sip your sweet froth, you scroll, you soothe yourself with slogans. But liberty is not a lullaby. It is a living thing, and it is hunted. I've seen what happens when the world stops watching. I've seen the wolves arrive not with howls, but with handshakes, polished shoes, velvet gloves, venomous grins in Parliament halls. I've learned that democracy wears a dress only until the bayonets bloom. I've learned the law can be a lash, and faith, when wielded like a blade, can flay the soul from the skin. The sky once soft with learning, now coughs black birds, beaked in barbed wire, wings whispering, obey. The moon wears a muzzle, even the stars avert their gaze. In 1919, she voted with a trembling thumbprint, blood blooming in ink like a promise. In 2004, she studied law. In 2009, she named her bruiser. In 2022, she vanished. Her name erased from registers, from payrolls, from radio waves. Now even her shadow is censored. Then a door slammed. Then a law passed. Then a dress code. A boot print. A silence swallowed whole. This isn't history. This is prophecy. The past is patient and patriarchy packs a pistol. I've heard the future sing in falsetto. Off-key, off-stage, off-limits. A funeral dirge in faltering tongues for freedoms you forget to fight for. Keep your foot on the gas, because I've seen the gears grind backwards. I've seen calendars unravel like entrails. Civilisation coughing up its daughters, one black-cloaked cough at a time. A choking, clotted wretch where a revolution should be. And if you coast, if you blink, if you swallow your outrage like sugar, the road will rot beneath you. And one day it may be illegal to drive, to speak, to breathe without permission. Behind the lines, this poem is a ferocious warning carved in ash, bone and bureaucratic ink. Written in the wake of the Taliban's systematic erasure of Afghan women's rights, Civilisation coughs up its daughters is more than a chronicle of repression. It is a flare fired across borders, aimed directly at the complacency of women living in freer nations. The poem draws its power from haunting, often grotesque imagery. Girls dragged from classrooms, books burned like bodies, freedom swallowed like fire. The poem delivers its message with rhythmic violence, making readers feel the breathlessness of disappearing rights. The imagery is surgical and relentless, echoing the suffocating policies imposed on Afghan women while simultaneously asking, how close are we to this ourselves? Its structure is prophetic, not reflective. It builds on the historical arc of progress, from suffrage in 1919 to constitutional protections in 2004, only to show how quickly, in a matter of decrees and silences, those hard-won freedoms collapsed. But this poem is not just about Afghanistan. Its real target is the illusion of permanence. It speaks to women in the West who believe rights are secure, institutions stable, progress irreversible. The metaphor of driving, a woman behind the wheel, is used to devastating effect. It warns that if we lift our foot off the gas, if we coast on past victories, the road will rot beneath us. It is not a metaphorical warning, but a literal one. One day it may be illegal to drive, or speak, or breathe without permission. At its heart, this is a poem of reckoning with privilege and passivity. It challenges women everywhere, including trans women, to understand that rights are not inherited, they are maintained. It reminds us that the machinery of oppression grinds slowly at first, disguised in tradition, civility, and legal nuance, until suddenly it does not. What civilization coughs up its daughters offers is not comfort, but consequence. It is not an elegy, it is a siren. It asks not if it could happen to you, but when, if you dare to look away.